Good day, everyone. So, our topic for today is about digital communications. The internet and widely available high-speed broadband connections have made communicating with others quick, efficient, and affordable. As the traditional boundaries between the telephone network, cellular networks, and data networks are disappearing, we find that we have a wide variety of choices regarding the technologies in the devices we want to use in order to communicate. Before we may continue, I just want to share to you the lesson objectives. In this lesson, you will learn about various digital communication technologies. Upon completion of this lesson, you should be able to explain the difference between real-time and delayed communications, describe email and texting, select the best communications tool for a given situation, describe various phone calling technologies, manage status and profile settings in type in Skype, conduct group conversation in Skype, describe how to conduct group in conversation in Google Hangouts, describe the benefits and functions of online conferencing tools, describe benefits and functions business collaboration tools, describe distance learning technologies, and describe audio, video, and live streaming. Now, as I mentioned earlier, in this lesson, we will examine various technologies for digital communication. You will notice that many of them are overlapped. Different platforms and different applications are developed as the internet evolves and as the required infrastructure is continuously put into place. Real-time is synchronous, in delayed asynchronous communication. Communication refers to any process that enables you to interact with others. Electronic communication is simply communication that involves using electronic methods such as email, instant text messaging, or electronic voice and video conferencing. There are two essential time frames for communication: real-time and delayed. In real-time communication, information is sent and received instantly. A face-to-face conversation is an example of real-time communication. If Jose and John are having a face-to-face talk, then as soon as John says something with Jose, hears it. Additionally, Jose can respond immediately. As soon as Jose says something in reply of John, hears his reply. In digital communications, real-time exchange are referred to as synchronous. In delayed communication, there is a time delay between the sending and receiving of information. A mailed letter is an example of delayed communication. John writes Jose a letter. He puts the letter in an envelope, addresses and stamp the envelope, and drop it off at the post office. In a few days, a letter carrier delivers John's letter to Jose's mailbox. When Jose comes home from work, he checks the mail, brings it inside, and then and reads John's letter. In digital communications, delayed exchanges are referred to as asynchronous. The digital tools we will examine that provide asynchronous communications are email and text messaging. These tools are considered asynchronous because a delay is acceptable. That is, you can send a communication to your intended recipient regardless of your recipient availability. Electronic mail or email. You have already spent some time sending and receiving email messages and sending files at email attachment. Email is a standard and popular method for exchanging business communication in personal messages when a response is not urgent. You may spend your workday sitting at your desk, sending and replying to email messages. You may also respond to messages as soon as they arrive, and you may receive replies as soon as you send messages out. In such a scenario, email correspondence occurs in real time. However, email is considered a delayed communication because a delay does not affect your ability to send or receive an email message. SMS text messages. You learn in computer fundamentals that SMS text messages are short messages, around 160 characters, sent over a cellular provider's network using the short message service protocol. Text messaging is also considered a delayed communication. John can text Jose whether Jose phone is on or off. If Jose phone is turned off, then Jose sends a text message. Jose will receive the text message the next time he powers on his phone. Using text messaging effectively. Texting can be a good communication tool if you use it wisely. Remember that even though texting looks like instant messaging, it is not necessarily real-time communication. You can send a text to a contact at any time. You have no way of knowing whether he or she is available when you send your text message. Your intended recipient may be unavailable to respond. Perhaps they are driving or in attendance as a meeting or a performance, or may be unaware that you have a sent text message. So for example, the recipient's phone may be turned off, or the recipient may not have heard the alert sound of an incoming text, or may not have noticed the next text message icon on the cell phone. You may receive an immediate response to a text, but that is not guaranteed. If you required an immediate response, it may be better to place a phone call. Always remember that if a situation is best resolved by speaking to someone directly, use the telephone or seek a face-to-face meeting. When is a text appropriate? If you can convey your message or question in relative few words, a text is probably appropriate. If, on the other hand, it would require several screens of text to get your message across, email might be a better choice. Remember that several minutes of back and forth texting can be very disruptive for people who are trying to get their work done. Remember also that depending on the cell plan, data plan, people may be charged a fee for sending and receiving text messages, especially if they exceed a specific quota. Be considerate. Ask about your recipient's preferred method of communication. Audience consideration, however, is arguably the strongest determining factor. If your intended recipient is often away from the office and seldom responds to email messages, text is probably appropriate. Some people who are negligent at answering email respond almost immediately to text messages. If your intended recipient is relatively inexperienced with technology, a phone call may be a better choice. Just because grandmother owns a cell phone does not mean that she likes or knows how to text. If your intended recipient is visually impaired or has trouble using his or her hands, a phone call might be much easier. On the other hand, if you need to communicate with someone who has a hard time hearing, a text might be a perfect solution to avoiding a frustrating conversation during which you might have to repeat yourself often or speak at a volume louder than is normal or is comfortable for you. To text or not to text. It is not always easy to determine when and when not to use text messaging. Here are a few guidelines. Use text if you must communicate but are in a place or situation where speaking out loud would be inconsiderate or indiscreet. Avoid texting while driving. It is dangerous and against the law in many regions to text when driving. If you know that your intended recipient is on the road, refrain from sending SMS messages. Use email instead. Avoid sending and responding to text if you are in a social setting, such as at the dinner table or involved in a conversation. Your live audiences deserves your full attention. It is rude to ignore that people around you in order to engage in texting. Avoid sending text messages late at night. Many people react to a late night text the same way they react to a late night phone call. They fear it might be bad news. Think twice before sending. Can your message wait until business hours tomorrow morning? And do not attempt send text messages while you are in an airplane that is taxiing, taking off, or landing. Etiquette. Etiquette is a customary code of polite behavior or good manners in society or among members of a particular profession or group. In matters relating to the internet and electronic communication, etiquette is often referred to as netiquette. To observe netiquette, keep the following points in mind. If you are involved in text conversation with a group of people, consider the frequency of your messages. Do all members of the group need to receive all your texts? If not, start a new text to reply to an individual within the group instead of replying to the entire group. Remember that electronic modes of communication tend to be open to this misinterpretation. Always remember that the recipient cannot see your face and that it is very difficult to convey tone in a written message. For example, a sarcastic remark meant as a joke can easily hurt someone's feelings. Try to treat others in the same manner that you want to be treated, online or in person. Refrain from using all uppercase letters in your messages as this is considered shouting. Use shouting with utmost discretion. Do not use texting as a way of bullying or harassing someone in any manner. Refrain from using abbreviation and acronym in business or school texts. Not everyone is familiar with this and it can lead to misinterpretation or confusion. Refrain from using emoticons, which are symbols that attempts to convey to the recipients the sender's emotion. In business or school communications, they are considered unprofessional. Always try to respond to messages in a timely manner. Not all messages require an immediate response, but when a message contains a question or requires further action, be sure to send an appropriate reply. Always follow the rules and guidelines established by your school or organization regarding electronic communications. Real-time communication technologies. Well, asynchronous communication methods such as text and email provide you with a history of conversation threads and proof that certain communications were sent and received. Sometimes there is just no substitute for real-time communications. Remember that real-time communication is a live conversation. When you are engaged in a face-to-face conversation with another person, it is easy to observe body language, facial expressions, and tone of voice. Each party can ask and answer questions as they arise. You can clarify points as you go and read the other party to assess how will they understand what you are saying. You can also see whether they agree with you or not and adjust your communication as necessary to meet a need or bring the other persons around to your point of view. Technologies that provide real-time or synchronous communication include phone calls, conference calls, online meetings, video conferences, and instant messaging. Phone calls are perhaps the finest example of a real-time communication technology at work. One of the better-known telephone company advertising slogans from the not-too-distant past was long distance, the next best thing to being there. Another was reach out and touch someone. Phone calls are personal and give each participant the other party's full attention. Phone calls can be almost as effective and empowering as a face-to-face communication. There are many situations in a business and personal relations that require real-time personal contact. Considering the following scenarios in which phone calls is probably the best means of communication to use. So number one, this will be our scenarios of, as I mentioned, in a phone call. You are communicating with someone whom you do not know. It can be intimidating to converse via email with someone who you have never met. You just convey a complicated idea. Many people have a difficult time organizing complex concepts and ideas in writing. And sometimes, you can compose a well-organized and coherent message, but the message becomes quiet, lengthy. Another issue must discuss a sensitive topic. Such matters are just not handled well through writing. Email and text can seem impersonal and cold. Voice, on the other hand, can convey a wealth of emotion, including support and understanding when appropriate. Additionally, phone calls are private, while email, text, and chat could be seen or intercepted by people not involved in the discussion. You require an immediate response. Sometimes you need an answer right away, and you can send an email and ask for an immediate reply. But how do you know whether the other party got your message? What if your recipient is on vacation or out sick? You have no way of knowing whether your inquiry request is anyone's radar, so to speak. You need to get a message of someone immediately. Sometimes, you need to send an urgent message and you need to be sure that other party has received it. Phone call technologies. There are three basic technologies you can use to make phone calls. You can use landlines, mobile phones, and VoIP phones. Internet phone calls, or VoIP. It is a technology that allows you to make voice calls using a broadband internet connections instead of a traditional telephone line. VoIP converts voice signals into small packets of digital data, adds addressing information to each packet, and send the packets across the internet. This process should sound familiar to you. It is the same process used when your computer communicates with web server or other computers over the internet. Disadvantages. A disadvantages of using VoIP for phone calls is that calls are very sensitive to delay. If packets containing voice information take too long to traverse the internet, the result is a conversation that sounds choppy or broken. VoIP communications are also highly susceptible to echo and feedback, especially if one or more participant is using a speakerphone or laptop speakers as opposed to a headset. Conference calling. A conference call is simply a call that involves three or more parties. Many business phones include a conference button. Most consumer phones include a flash buttons which you can use to create a conference call if a conference calling service is included in your phone plan. Modern conferencing calling is not limited to audio only. Also, all technologies that provide video calling support video conferencing calling. You can participate in a conference call on a landline, mobile, and VoIP phones. WebEx. It is a hosted service that you can use to conduct online meetings with anyone who has an internet connection, including mobile users. Although only WebEx is described in this section, most online meetings occur in a similar fashion, regardless of the platform used to host the meeting. An online meeting is a meeting in which multiple participants can not only speak to each other but also share visuals such as presentation files, documents, whiteboards, and even video. Within a meeting, different participants can take control and share files, or progress through a presentation. Skype more than just IM. So, you were introduced already the Skype in our previous lesson. You created a Skype account, download and install the Skype client, added a contact, exchanged messages with your contact, and shared files through Skype. You will work with some of the group features of Skype, and you will examine aspects of Skype that communicate information about you, such as your profile information, your status, and your personal note. To begin, we will take a detailed look at the Skype interface. The following figure shows a sample instant messaging session in Skype desktop application. So, bots are applications that perform automated tasks using artificial intelligence. You can add Skype bots to your contacts that will chat with you. Some assist with tasks and others provide entertainment. So, as what we have a while ago, the picture, A for your account, B for menu bar, C for status bar, D for toolbar, E for contract lists, F recent list, G contact summary, H conversation window, and I is for conversation box. Adjusting your status. If your current status is indicated by a colored circle at the lower right of your profile picture, each of your contacts also has a status indicator next to their names in your contact list. So, by default, Skype indicates that you are online whenever you're signed in. However, you can change your status at any time. In the menu bar, click Skype, point to the online status, then click an option in the menu. What are the available options? Of course, an online, away, do not disturb, invisible, and offline. Managing your Skype profile. You can set the field below your picture in your Skype profile to public, everyone on Skype can see it, contacts only your contacts can see it, and private and no one can see it. Mode of messages. In Skype, your mode of messages can share a general idea or can be customized to give a little more information on your current status. For example, perhaps you need to run to the post office. You can set your status to away, and you can set your mode messages to be back in 20 minutes. To let your contacts know that you do not anticipate being away for very long. Group conversations. When you conduct a group conversation in Skype, anything you type and send is received by anyone in the group. Sometimes you may be having a conversation with a contact and realize that you need to loop in other person. Other times you may know that you need to converse with 2 or more people and you can start out as a group conversation. To add a contact to a conversation already in progress, click Create New Group button to open a window for adding contacts and turning your conversation into a group conversations. Click the contact you want to add to the conversation. The name of the contacts who will be added to the conversation appears in the box at the top of the window. When you are finished adding contacts, click Create Group to open a new group conversation window. Notice that a group avatar now displays the upper left corner of the conversation window. Notice all the previous portions of the conversation is not included in the new group conversation window. Because you are in a new group conversation, the button at the right part is now named Add People. You can click Add People to add more people into your group conversation. If you want to save a group as a contact, right-click the group avatar and click Save Group in your contacts. Type a name for the group contact, then click OK. To create a brand new group conversation to which you can add anyone you like, click Create a New Conversation. To open the window for adding contacts, click the contacts you want to add to the group and click the Add button to open a conversation window for the new group. If you want to leave group conversation, right-click the group avatar, then click Leave Conversation. Click Leave to confirm when participant has left a conversation. The other participants are notified. Checking out Google Hangouts. Gmail chat feature from your Gmail inbox. What you might not have realized in a Gmail chat is powered by Google Hangouts. Google Hangouts is a communication platform that supports SMS, IM, group chat, VIP calling, and video conferencing. Hangouts allows conversation between two or more users and can be accessed online through Gmail or Hangouts website, through the Hangouts app, or through mobile apps for Android and iOS. You can open browser and navigate the hangouts.google.com and click the sign in link, or you can sign into Gmail, then click the Google Apps button, click more, and then click Hangouts. The Hangouts page is shown in the figure. VoIP conferencing. VoIP phone calls use the internet to avoid or to transfer voice packets between the phones used in a call or conference call. Any of the phones themselves can be the telephone handset, a conference room speaker box, a computer headset, or a PC, speakers, and a microphone. In using Skype for VoIP calls, to begin an audio call on Skype, click the contact you want to call in the contact pane, then click the call button. Skype display the profile pictures of the other party on your screen for the duration of the call. So you can use buttons at the bottom of the screen to make adjustment and take actions during the call. You can click turn on video, mute your microphone, add participants, send files, and more. Conference call. To conduct a conference call using Skype, you can create a group conversation and then click the call button. Add additional participants to a call that is ready in progress. Screen sharing. Screen sharing has many useful functions, including the ability to deliver a presentation to the participants on your call, show a specific section or a document for which you need ideas or clarifications, demonstrate how to accomplish a particular task on a computer or within a specific application, demonstrate a problem or show an error messages that you are receiving. Participants in a conference call can leave the call at any time by clicking the end call button. Leaving a conference call does not affect other participants who are still on the call. However, if the originator of a conference call ends the call ends for everyone. Video conferencing. A video conference is a conference call that includes video. Aside from the obvious personal consumer appeal, video conferencing has many applications in business settings. Video conferences can make employees from different locations feel more cohesive as a group, can make everyone feel included. Are ideal for demonstrating procedures and bring a face-to-face quality to communication. Skype video conferencing. In Skype, you start a video conference by opening a conversation window and then click the video call button. You can also turn an audio conference call into a video call by clicking the turn on video button in the call window. Video conferencing in Google Hangouts. The first time you make a video call in Hangouts, you may be prompted to allow Hangouts to use your computer's camera and microphone, and you must accept. Note that if you are using Internet Explorer, Firefox, or Safari, you will need to download and install the latest version of the Hangouts plugin before making video calls. Video conferencing in FaceTime. FaceTime is a video chat application developed by Apple. FaceTime is supported of iPhone 4 or later iPhone 2 or later, iPad mini and iPad Touch 4th generation or later. It is also supported on Mac OS 10, 10.6.6 and later. So the following image from the Apple support website shows a FaceTime video call in Il Captain version. So in order to make a phone call or FaceTime call, all participants must be connected to the internet to make a video call. So this will be the process. Collaboration tools. Office 365 is a bundled package of cloud solutions designed to be a one-stop, all-encompassing solutions, providing the tools needed for productivity, collaboration, centralization, and communication. Business version include Outlook web app, SharePoint, Office Online, OneDrive for Business, Skype for Business, Office Suite. SharePoint is a browser-based collaboration and document management platform provided by Microsoft. It provides a central locations where employees can find and share documents and collaborate with their co-workers. Because the main user interface is a web browser, SharePoint locations are referred to as sites. The homepage of the SharePoint site for Tulano Adventures. The site is organized into hierarchy. There is a page for the settled office and site for various departments and projects. Built-in content management. SharePoints provide more than just a centralized storage location. SharePoint is by design a content management system. The data you store on SharePoint is kept in lists and libraries, and you can configure this list and libraries to restrict access, require checkout, check-in procedures, maintain major and minor version, or alert you when changes are made to the data. Co-authoring documents in SharePoint. Co-authoring is the simultaneous editing of a document by multiple authors. You can co-author documents in SharePoint document, library in Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and OneNote, or in the online counterparts. For each product, the co-authoring functionality is very similar. Skype for Business. In the workplace, Skype for Business is communication and collaboration center. From here, you can see which of your colleagues are available for communication, and you can launch into a communication session with one or more colleagues with 1 or 2 clicks. From the contact panels, you can use start conversation with your coworkers, conduct online meetings, share screens, and more. The following figure shows the contacts panels in the main Skype of business window and a conversation a separate window. Scheduling online meetings. Because Skype for Business is integrated with Microsoft Outlook, you can schedule and send invitation to online meetings from your Outlook inbox. When it is time for the meeting, participants can click a link in the meeting invitation to join the online conference call. One person organizes the meeting and can designate particular people as presenters. During an online meeting, a presenter can share content and perform actions that control the flow of information. Taking control. Skype for Business allows participants to request and take control of a screen sharing session, allowing different people to present different portions of the meeting agenda or various sections of a PowerPoint presentation. Recording online meetings. In addition to sharing content, presenters can capture the audio, video, instant messaging, application sharing, PowerPoint presentations, whiteboards, and polling portions of an online meeting or group conversation. Recording can be published and made available for other people to view. Distance learning. The wide variety of digital communication technologies had made distance learning practical, affordable, and even fun. Lectures, assignments, assessments, communication, and grades are managed through Learning Management System or LMS, and students attend class by logging in using a web browser or a CP. Online classes can be asynchronous or synchronous in nature. In an asynchronous class, instructor provide material lists, lectures, tests, and assignments that can be accessed at any time. That is convenient for the students. An old-time equivalent would be email correspond course where students mail their assignments to an instructor and receive feedback in the mail. Asynchronous classes are ideal for people who like to learn at their own pace or for those who just juggle school with work and family obligations. Commonly featured in asynchronous classes are virtual libraries, email, discussion boards, and social networking. For synchronous online classes occurs in real time and requires students and instructor to be online at the same time. Lectures, discussions, and presentations occur at a specific hour, and all students must be online at the specific hour in order to participate. Synchronous classes may be preferable for students who need to feel involved with their classmates. Commonly used features in synchronous classes are chat, VoIP conference calls, video conferencing, live streaming. Streaming is included in this lesson about digital communication because business and individuals can create video or audio recordings of presentation, marketing pieces, product demonstration, and so on, and make these recordings available as streaming media. You can also stream live content. Live streaming is a little bit different than streaming pre-recorded files. Live streaming is the process of broadcasting real-time live audio-video footage as a video feed to an audience that access the stream over the internet. Hangout on air is the video recording live streaming broadcasting tool that is free to anyone with a Google account. You can use Hangouts on air to publicly broadcast Hangouts and stream them live on a Google Plus and YouTube. The Hangout is automatically recorded and saved to your YouTube channel. From there, you can edit it and share it even after it has been broadcast. You can make a live streaming event private or public. A public event is search discoverable and viewable by anyone. However, participants must be invited by the host. If you make your live streaming event private, you need to send the URL to people you want to invite as viewers. A business or an individual can broadcast live video content using a camera and a computer. Viewers can play the content in a web browser, on an iOS or Android device, or through Roku or Apple TV. Using chat, Twitter, or voice calls, viewers can interact with the broadcast host or with an assembled panel taking part in the broadcast or with other viewers. In this respect, live streaming can perform the same function as video conference. So, this will be the references, the CCI Learning Solutions, Abante M Office Application of Anvil Publishing, Abante M ICT Empowerment MS Office Application of Unlimited Books Incorporated. Before I end, of course, the lesson summary. In this lesson, you learn about various digital communication technologies. You should now be able to explain the difference between real-time and delayed communications, describe email and texting, select the best communication tool for a given situations, describe various phone calling technologies, manage status and profile settings in Skype, conduct group conversation in Skype, describe how to conduct group conversations in Google Hangouts, describe the benefits and function of online conferencing tools, describe benefits and functions of business collaboration tools, describe distance learning technologies, and describe audio, video, and live streaming. So that's it for today. Good luck. Enjoy the rest of the semester. God bless everyone.